So you want to know about the cost of living in Houston, Texas. So in this video, we're going to cover all things with the cost of living in the Houston metro area, such as buying or renting a house, utilities, medical bills, you name it, we're going to cover it. And we're going to get after it right now. Let's go. What's up, everybody? This is Royce Isaac, the luxury boss with the Rolls-Royce luxury living team right here in the Houston, Texas area. But guys, let me tell you, each and every week we receive calls from folks all over the U.S. asking about the cost of living and what does it take to relocate and move to the Houston metro area. And we absolutely love it. Look, we do so many videos about what it's like to live right here in the Houston, Texas area. And if you want to know all about living here, make sure you subscribe and tap that little bell, and that way you get notified each and every time we upload a video. So if you're seriously thinking about relocating or moving to Houston, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send an email, however you want to reach us. When it comes to moving and relocating to the Houston area, we've got your back. So let's just jump right into it. My favorite reason for living in the Houston metro is the cost of housing. In the U.S., the median price per home is $235,000 versus in Houston, it's $185,000. In a little bit, I'll show you a chart of where we rank amongst our neighbors up north like Dallas and Austin, or some of the other major cities like New York, LA, Chicago, or Atlanta. So when moving to Houston, if you decide to live in and outside of the Sam Houston Toll Bridge, or as we call it, the Beltway, then most likely you're going to live in a community that has an HOA. So your HOA is going to consist of things such as your neighborhood security, your civic club, your neighborhood pool, your neighborhood parks, the landscaping in and around the community. And maybe your neighborhood has a putting green or a gated community. All of those things are going to be covered in your HOA. When searching for a home to live in Houston, there are a number of things you want to think about. One, what side of town, where your job, schools, where you want your kids to go to school at, and price of home. So if you're looking for a 2,000 square feet, 1-story, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house on the west side of town, say Katy, then you can look at starting around about $185,000 up. If you want to go southwest, like Richmond or Rosenberg area, or the Katy Richmond area, you're looking on average about $250,000. You go further southwest into the Sugar Land area, starting off around $230,000, and then it can go up into the millions, depending on how deep in Sugar Land you want to go. If you're looking into, say, Missouri City, a little bit more closer to South Central, but still southwest of Houston, now you're going to start somewhere around $185,000 to about $250,000, unless you go into the Sienna Plantation community of Missouri City, and again, that's going to start roughly $275,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot home, and then it can definitely go up into the millions. South of that, maybe closer again to Central Houston, close to the 610 Loop in the Pearland area. That's a historic Jewish community where now those homes are going to be much larger than 2,000 on average, but they start off around 300,000, 325, 330, and they go up again into around 550. Last but not least, then you come around full central, South Central area is Pearland. You're going to look at starting around $250,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family house. Roughly, no matter where you essentially want to move in the Houston metro area, as long as you're looking for a single-family, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, it's always safe to assume you can expect to start off somewhere between $185,000 to $250,000 to be safe. All right, so we talked about owning a house, but if you want to talk about renting has actually kind of gone crazy around here lately, because in some areas of Houston, it actually costs you more to rent than it does just to buy. So here in Houston, if you're going to be leasing a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, condo, or townhome, your rent is going to range anywhere between $1,500 to $1,700 a month. Now, there are some other areas where your rent could be a little bit cheaper than that, or even higher. Now, if you're looking for a 4-bedroom in the Houston area, then that average is going to be around $2,000 to $2,100 a month. And anything outside of the Houston metro area, then it's probably going to be $200 to $300 lower. So now that we've got you in your home, it's time to get the utilities turned on. So that's going to consist of the electric, your water, your gas, and your cable. Now in Houston, with all of your utility bills combined, you can expect to pay anywhere between $200 to $500 a month. It really just boils down to whatever your cable bill is, and everyone is griping about the prices these days. But over the last 5 years or so, a lot of people have decided to X their cable bill and instead subscribe to a streaming service. And if you want internet, it's actually about 60 bucks. It's a little higher than the national average, but it's right there. Okay, so now you're living in your house, you're paying your utilities, but how do you get to work? In Houston, you have a public transportation system, but almost everyone has a car. In Houston, nearly 5 million people take the city's local metro buses per month, and nearly 2 million people use the metro rail train. Now, it's not the best experience, but it's there. Now, Houston is almost aggressively anti-cyclist. In my opinion, there's very little concern for the cyclists on the roadway. However, the current mayor is making good strides in adding more lanes for cyclists. Yes, you can ride your bike safely, and you'll probably never have a problem. However, we still have a good ways to go to be considered bicycle friendly. Alright, so you've determined you're not going to brave it out and catch the metro or ride your bike to work. So let's talk gas prices. Right now, for a regular tank of gas, the average price is $1.80. And for Supreme, it's going to be about $2.70. And right now, it's June 2020. And obviously, by the time you see this, the price may change. But if you ask me down in the comments below, I'll let you know. Alright, so now you work, and you work hard. And why do you work hard? So you can play harder. And in Houston, we have tons of bars and eateries, so you can enjoy yourself while you play hard. So how much does it actually cost for a decent meal in Houston? Well, for a nice decent meal for two, you can expect to spend anywhere between 50 to 60 bucks. And that'll get you a nice meal at something like 5 Central Houston in River Oaks or at Moxie's over in the Galleria area. An average per person meal in Houston averages about $10. Now, if you like to cook at home, your grocery average is going to be right around pretty much average with the rest of the US. In Houston, we love our whiskey. There's always a whiskey event going on all around town. A bar all over the city pretty much never closes. So if you love the whiskey, you love beer, Houston's the place for you. Alright, so while you're out having a great time drinking with your friends, don't drink and drive. Don't forget, your tab is going to be more than that $12 or $15 per drink, because you're going to also have an 8.25% sales tax. Yep, Houston does have a sales tax, and it's a combination of fees from your state, county, and the city. And by the way, depending on what area you're in, you're probably going to have a minimum of a 20% gratuity. It does get a little expensive when having a good time in Houston. All right, and the last thing I want to cover right now is healthcare. Houston is where the world comes for treatment. With the largest medical center in the world, the Texas Medical Center has 106,000 employees, 61 institutions, and thousands of volunteers. Literally over 160,000 people visit the TMC each and every day. The TMC, or the Texas Medical Center, is actually larger than most metropolitan downtown areas. Now, despite the fact of being home to both the largest medical center in the world and some of the best doctors in the world, Houston's healthcare cost is not the best. In fact, we're just short of being dead even with the average national cost in healthcare. So let's say now you're working, but you don't have insurance through your employer, or maybe you're self-employed, or you're a real estate agent, and you're below 40, non-smoking adult. So you can expect to pay about a $260 a month insurance premium, and that's going to come with about a $5,000 deductible. Alright, so we've been talking about the cost of living in Houston, Texas. I went and looked up the most expensive cities in the United States, and Houston actually ranks number 64. So overall, we rank really well when you consider the other major metropolitan cities across the country, and you're talking about the cost of living. So I'm going to pull up a map here because I want to give you a visual of what it means to live in the proper Houston area. Houston has so many suburban areas that are beautiful and well thought out and built out that if you live in them, you rarely ever have to leave those areas. I actually have two friends of mine, two very close friends of mine that live in Katy, and I rarely ever see them. And that's because, it's so far out from where I live, which is on the south side in the Pearland area, that I just don't want to make the commute. But hey, there's always Facebook. All right, so let's take a look at this map here and dissect it. So you got the Houston downtown area right up in here. 610 South Loop would be around here, which over here on the southeast side, you would have NRG and the Astrodome. Over here, you would have the Third Ward, historic Third Ward area where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. actually marched. If you have some time, feel free to give me a call when you come in. We can talk about it. Some cool stories about that. South Central, you have Pearland, my area. You can see it's right here between 106 to 120 on the higher end. You have some more expensive areas here with Sienna Plantation, which is actually one of the largest, if not the largest community in the Houston metropolitan area. And those houses ranging anywhere between on the high 300s up into the millions, golf courses, great schools. But Missouri City also has some affordable housing over here as well. You see they're in the low 90s. And then Sugarland used to be where Hakeem Olajuwon lives. A lot of the celebrity basketball players, for some reason, like to come to Houston and live in the Sugarland area. I understand why they live in Texas, because we don't have any state income tax, but a lot of them either in the River Oaks area where all the millionaires and billionaires are, or they move into the Sugarland area. Really lovely area though, lovely city, nice schools, low crime, doesn't flood, things of that nature. So it's a range of places. Katy is a really happening spot, really nice area. Great high school football team at Katy High School, great schools, great neighborhoods as well, great range of houses because they're going to be in the high 90s to low 100s, but they also have some higher end 600,000, 700,000 and even $1 million properties, but they also are completely on the other end with Katy, where you can find the $180,000 homes, the $250,000 homes. So it has a really great wide range of affordable housing and high-end houses here too. And then you got coming up north, where we've annexed both Spring and the Woodlands. As we see, the Woodlands are between the 115s and on the higher end as well, kind of like Sugarland and Pearland in Sienna Plantation in Missouri City. This is the area where ExxonMobil's headquarters have moved, as well as Schlumberger. So they've really caused a lot of people to move in that area, and thus the housing prices have increased dramatically over there as well. So if you got any questions, feel free. Again, you can always send me an email or give me a call. I'll answer any questions you'll have. And like I said, I'm a local real estate agent here. So if you have any questions, give me a call. I'd love to help you out. I answer any question you have. If you know you're going to be relocating to the Houston area, or if your job has you moving here, I'm your guy when it comes to relocating and moving to Houston. I really hope you enjoyed the video, you guys. So please leave me a comment down below in the comment section, whether you agree or even if you disagree. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a question down in the comment section as well. I'll personally check it myself and get back to you. Make sure you click that subscribe button, because I do a ton of videos just like this one with all things Houston. Top 5 neighborhoods, top 5 areas, pros and cons, good schools, crime, you name it, I do it. So click the subscribe button, click the little bell, and you get notified each and every time I upload a new video. Until the next time, take care, take charge, and I'll see you at the top. God bless.